Say so right now until the truth comes out. I gave you everything, and I gave you everything. Say so right now, left alone, cried out. I gave you everything, and I gave you everything. I don't understand what they want from me. They take my hands, washing them in dirty water. Try to find what's right in a distant place, so far away. The silence fills my heart with empty space. But now I'm sure of where I'll go from here. And tensions rise, they push me to divert my vision. But I will break the ceiling and the walls that kept me in for all this time.
Well, hello there. Good evening, everyone. It's been a really long time since I streamed, and obviously something is not working. And what was not working were the custom fonts, but it has now been fixed. PowerPoint shows the custom fonts brilliantly, but not sure what happened to OBS. I hope there will be an update to fix these kind of problems, so I will be able to go back to my custom fonts. Well, anyway, tonight is the Blitz Masters, and there's a lot to catch up. I'm going to load my screen. Hopefully, the stream should be up. Just going to do that very quickly. So, that's not the Blitz Ultimate Cup. It's Blitz Masters. Group stage format. He's going to update that. Please. I hope you can hear me nice and fine. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm just going to double check whether it's the case. Yeah, you can hear me good. So obviously I haven't done any streams. If you have been watching Amanet, Fujit, Nino streams, you should know the format here. Blitz Masters group stage, it's a single round robin format with 8 teams per group, and there are 2 groups here. Top 2 from each group will advance to the final stage, consisting of 4 teams. And if the team advances to the final stage, they will earn some money. However, the prize pool this season is a lot lower than last season. The first place is just like $500 higher than the third place in the autumn season last year. So it's still money, still real money, and you do want to earn some money out here. So looking at this, we have first place gaining $7,500. Second place will earn $3,500. It's per team. I have to emphasize, not per player. Third place we have $2,500, and fourth place $1,500. This is not the right table, and I have to tell you that there are 2 groups, so we're going to look at 2 tables actually. So this is the first table, and I'm going to include another one. So bear with me on this. Alright, so let's go for Group 1. So Group 1 currently we have EVG, Last and Wise, tied in the first place. EOS in the 4th place, Reds 5th, DT 6th. Reds are ahead of DT with the tiebreaker because they have more battle wins than DT, and that is what BW stands for. Boone, however, won 9 battles but winning no rounds, and Arets 0C also winning no rounds. So Group 2 we have GV, Risk, tied in the first place. Once again, they are tied for the first place because they haven't faced one another yet. And below that we have EA, Nomad, 7simp with 2 round wins, but EA is ahead because they won against both Nomad and 7simp. And we really need your clan logo, 7simp, while we're at it. Nomad is higher than 7simp because they won more head-to-head battles, and that's 1 head-to-head battle win against EA. Sarso is in the 6th place, ahead of SZ in the tiebreaker rule, because they won against SZ, and finally UQ in the 8th place. You might be wondering, who are EVG, who are Last, who are Wise? So EVG, from what I've been doing my research on, they consist of players mostly from P1, Poltergeist's team. As you know, they got 3rd place last season, so this is a team to take a look on. Last, they didn't appear in the autumn season last year, but they did make an appearance in the summer season, and they've been doing really well so far. So I expect them to challenge some of these clans here. Like Wise is going to be one of them. They are a clan with mostly players from RN. We got 2nd place last season. They really outdid their expectations, and they have yet to win a season. So is this going to be their first season to win? We will find out, but they are looking really strong at the moment. Boone, it's an interesting one. It's a revival of an old legend. A couple of years ago, when I started streaming, Boone was there in the top 8, and this is a totally different Boone. This Boone team has players from Kane and P2 from last season. A team to watch, I would say. They could surprise us this year, so I won't I will shift my attention elsewhere. Boone is probably a hot team at the moment. And we have RS0C, who has won the lower echelon championship, in fact, if I remember correctly, last season. I'm just going to get ready in the room. And I think Wargaming, thank you very much for advertising my stream, which I think the link is here. Just going to post it. Right, so we only have a minute left to go. Don't have a lot of time to introduce all the clans to you, but you will be familiar with most of the clans here. 7-Simp with most players from Brown last season. They lost their Russian recruits to Nomad actually. So this could become an uncertainty here. With EA, this is a legendary Chinese clan, but they have mostly players from Riri last season. So I think this is like this is just Riri in a sense. Sarso has mostly players from GRS, but they I don't want to use the word flop, but they do kind of flop a bit so far. I hope they can play well in the last 3 rounds. They can still challenge for the top 2, but it's going to look quite unlikely at this point. So this is the timeline and the schedule, but we're going to go into the game very soon. So I'm going to leave you here, and we're going to look at the game. Now, I'm just hoping the fonts are working correctly. Like, it's acting up so far. Like, it looks fine now, but the font is totally different than previously. So we're still loading into the game, and we're in the game. EVG. Also known as Evanescent. I don't think it's a reference to the rock band, but we also have Wise, mostly from our end, Yokozuna. Seems the clan tag and the clan name looks correct, but we're going to be seeing. I'm just going to follow Type 1007A right here. The tank that is how down. Overlooking sea, and Wise on the other hand are going to both A and B. Who is going to get a cap first? Seems Wise is going to send tanks to A, and I don't think EVG, maybe not, because 121R is there to reset A. And 121R could potentially land another shot. But Trash this time is more careful. Look at what Wise is doing, using this terrain to shield themselves from getting reset. And it's going to be Wise getting A first. EVG very quickly got saved. So it's not the end of the world for a EVG here. They only need a tank kill to flip to flip the cap point back to their favor. As we can say, just going to say hello to Truffles here. Hope you're doing well. Spartan Sword in the T110 E5. Oh, that's a new sound, isn't it? I haven't played the game for a month, I would say. And obviously there are lots of changes since the update. And most notably, the nerf of Type 71, which is why you're not seeing any Type 71 here. But the other tanks, the Strift K, has become a much more popular tank amongst the clan wars scene. We saw that on the EU server. It kind of replaces Type 71 to some extent with the armor and the mobility. But look at Arrow getting a little bit careless in that position, taking a couple of hits already. And looking at the hit points, EVG has a strong lead. And they can really use this as the pressure point for Wise. Because now Wise, they still have the cap points, but their hit points are not high enough. And if Wise loses a tank, this is going to put themselves in a much bigger trouble. Because then they will not have the cap lead. They will have to do something to address the situation. Now, EVG, we're seeing them lining up for a push coming from the north area. Are they going to make a big push onto way here? Wise is now seeing this move happening. EVG quickly moving. Look at how quick the Strift K are moving. Look at this. This maneuver. Oh, we can see that. Big shots onto Arrow now. Shibuya is going to be the focus for these 4 tanks right here. And there's nothing you can do about it. Wise, are they going to push on the other side? They are trying to deal with the big push coming from EVG. EVG nailed this push. It is working really well at the moment. EVG is now looking at trash. Wise, at the moment, is still rotating at the moment. And look at this. EVG with a lot more hit points now. Wise, they are really struggling with the focus fire, and there is not much EVG would need to do now. They have the caps, they have the hit points, but they might have to be careful for B. Now here, this is a tank that's trying to get all the caps. Now, EVG got both trash and UA, so now the hit points are in huge favor of EVG, but they need A as well. They got Arrow, but it's going to be over soon. EVG 950 cap points compared to Wise 2 caps. Simply, it's not going to be enough for Wise to put it back with the number of cap points, and hit points EVG have. Great job to EVG. I'd say, great job in chipping away hit points of Wise. I'd say like Arrow in the IS4 lost quite a lot of hit points unnecessarily there, and EVG surely worked the angles well. That push was decisive. Wise, I think some code feet among the team. They aren't responding to the push nicely. They were a little bit slow there, and they aren't regrouping quickly enough, allowing EVG to get the focus fire relatively easily. As it stands, EVG won. Wise nil. So let's go back here in. I know, like, I haven't done commentary for some time, so I apologize if the fluency is a little bit meh tonight. But great to see Badger. We love Badgers, don't we? A tank that is relatively, I wouldn't say it's as a mobile tank, but a really good tank for how down, extraordinary DPM. If you could use that Badger, if you could work that Badger in a really good position, then this tank could become a nuisance for EVG. But the problem is the number of hit points. Not a lot of hit points, and as I said, not really mobile at all. I don't see this as a TD at all. It's more like a hold down heavy for me. As for EVG, we're going to be seeing some sexy TPs here. It's good. It's a tank with a lot of alpha, not a lot of DPM, so it's a really good tank for holding actually. So we could potentially see a change in pace for EVG this time. Are they going to try and get the cap lead first and sit back and defend? We will see this time, but at the same time, we also have Wise with double Badger. So I think Wise will be doing something similar to what I've spoken about for EVG. So this time, both teams in spawning at different caps this time. I'm going to be seeing whether the scoreboard is updating. It's updating, but it looks a bit skewed in terms of the position. That's the problem with the font. So we are seeing Iron Bread tank being spotted type using this held down position 2 and the Galera. 60 TP in that bush. Ready to land big shots to whoever's getting careless and crossing, and that shot didn't hit anything. It only hit the ground and scared a couple of soldiers hiding inside the tank, driven by Uncrowned. Hopefully this is not going to shock Uncrowned anyhow. But look at what EVG has done already. They have captured A, and they're going to defend, and the double 60 TPs are going to be a huge factor for EVG if they want this strategy to work. The 60 TPs have got to land their shells in, and so far it's not the case. The Galera is trying to put a shot, but it's not hitting anywhere. Spartan Sword, however, very aggressive in that position. He's going to receive a little pressure here. And if Wise realizes that Spartan Sword is an isolated tank, they can take that out relatively quickly. But then, if you remember correctly, a T110 E5 has the reactive armor, which means if Wise decides to push onto Spartan Sword, they're going to take some time. And this time that EVG will have bought would allow them to rotate somewhere else or respond in a timely manner. So Wise, they might be aware of this trap set up by EVG. As you can also see, the Strift K will be able to rotate and support Spartan so quickly if Wise decides to push. So I like what Wise is doing here. They're trying to chip away hit points of Spartan Sword bit by bit. Trying to bank on Spartan Sword being careless. But he's not giving up hit points at the moment. Uncrowned has taken a huge hit here. I think Wise is getting into position, but they're bleeding a lot at this point. EVG has the cap. Wise has no caps. But look at EVG, they're just trying to counter push. They're trying to counter react to what Wise is trying to do. And Wise is in deep trouble. Wise is trying to get A, but Born is going to get C as well. UA is trying to get B. Wise is trying to hold a good horizontal straight line, but they are losing a lot of hit points at the moment, and they are unable to get A here. EVG, so far so good still. Shots onto Shibuya, but their focus fire is letting up a little bit. They really need to get their focus fire sorted nicely because Wise is now making a counter push, and they really need to get those tanks out. Wise, if they get a good focus fire, they could turn this around. Force is now dead. Shibuya is dead. Uncrowned is also dead now. EVG is now doing a great job over the middle side. UA is not going to last for long here, and it's going to be taken out. B is now dead, and we can see Trash is trying to get Mushing out of the way, but Wise, a glimmer of hope, brutally extinguished by EVG's move in the middle, and they picked up their focus fire back in the end. It could have gone horribly wrong for EVG, but it is not the case in the end. Wise still finding a footing in this matchup. And as you can see, EVG looking very strong at the moment. I would not be surprised if they're going to win the season outright, but look at how they react to the opponents here. Wise, again, I think they're bleeding a little bit too much. Last match as well, last battle as well. They're bleeding quite a lot while getting to positions. EVG conserving a lot more hit points, but EVG has to be mindful of their focus fire. If they are not highly focused, it could the situation could totally change. So EVG really good job with the positioning and conserving hit points and trying to control the entire situation. But Wise They really need to sort out their hit points here. They are bleeding a lot at the moment, and they don't want to do that in the next one. But we're going to go to a different map now. We're going to Normandy. Well, it's an even more open map. So this could be a problem for Wise here. They have to be even more mindful of their hit points. And we could see them taking an object 268. Hi, Plorianica, how are you doing? It's not the original object 268. This is the collector object 2684. So I think I will have to change the font for the scoreboard before tonight. Because it's not looking, it looks really weird. But I digress. Normandy, C and D, these two caps are going to be captured quite quickly at the start. And most of the time, we're seeing a lot of attention turning towards A. Because if you are able to get A, then you're able to get that cap advantage. B is really difficult to get because it's so out in the open. And if both teams cannot get A, this could become a camping festival. And you don't want a camping festival today, do you? And this is what I'm talking about. Both teams try to get both C and D quickly. They're using their light tanks to cap these two bases quickly here. And the extra light tank of UA here is going to give the information that EVG sorely needs here. So with Wise only able to get spots near D, great shot onto Forced. Maybe Wise is able to mount some pressure on A. EVG so far not having any attention at all on A, and this could be a problem. They will lose the cap advantage if Wise is able to get A safely. Now, look at Milkshake. They're immediately rotating back to B. They are trying to catch whoever is a little bit careless in the hold down move. Oh, Legolera tries to penetrate. Shibuya doesn't hit anything, but this is a good try. I would have used a Shi potentially to be safe. To be on the safe side, at least you would do some damage. Especially when you're in the 60 TP. It has got a really big high alpha gun. So that splash damage from the HE shell is going to do quite some substantial damage. At the moment, Wise, a little bit more cap points. EVG, not that many cap points. And we can see EVG potentially making a push onto Wei. Spartan Sword. Now dropping into Wei. Uncrowned. Oh. We can see action going on here. Uncrowned. I don't know how he manages to bounce that shot. It didn't hit Spartan Sword, and so now he's being perma-tracked. I am feeling really sorry for Uncrowned here. Not his day. And Uncrowned, they have immediately made a move to shut down these isolated 60 TPs. But their focus fire needs to be on point. They're trying to do a 2 versus 2 against 2 heavy tanks. Well, they have to work this out really nicely. But they can use the HE shell. Oh, bit HE shell onto UA. But Gosu just splashed onto UA. UA would have been in a much more dire situation, but he manages to pull off this. Put it out of the bag. Now, Brett Tang tried to get D. Wise is throwing everything they could, but EVG simply with more hit points, and Wise, they are not sharing their jobs, I think. I don't know what's going on, but they are looking quite confused today. They try to get Legolera out of the way. Trash puts a great shot onto Legolera. Arrow is down. Shibuya gets the kill here. And we're now seeing a 5 versus 5 situation. B's trying to run around, get some kills and shots in, but it's simply too much for Wise this time. Trash dropped the reactive armor, but to no avail, basically. Shibuya is the focus for EVG now. UA now a one-shot. Can't do much here. Hit points and cap points are in huge favor of EVG, despite the boys getting 2 caps. But they lost all their tanks now. EVG gets another battle win, bringing them to a match point. Wow. What a great game from EVG. I do feel really sorry for the crowd fluffing that shell onto that T100 LT sideways and got permatracked. What can you do in this situation? I give my condolences to a crowd. There is nothing you could do, right? And advice. I think they just they panicked a lot when that happened, and I mean they sent their double 60 T100 LTs to deal with the 62Ps. I mean it's going to be a really risky move, especially when the 62Ps can penetrate T100 LT with HE shells. Lucky that UA, I think, didn't get penetrated by one of the HE shells. Their focus fire was a little bit poor this time, but they reacted to. I think they had. I think they would. They reacted correctly. They immediately made a move down the middle, trying to catch whichever EVG tanks are the back side of the EVG tanks. And that's a correct call. But they really need to sort out their focus fire. It's a little bit meh so far. And EVG, once again, in total control of the situation. Not much Wise could do, to be honest with you, when you're facing against EVG with such discipline. Normandy again. Are we going to be seeing some changes at Wise? Looking like the shadow of themselves. In the autumn season, they really need to pick up momentum now. It's a match point for EVG, and if EVG wins this one, EVG is going to win 4-0, and Wise, they will have to be really mindful of the next battle because they're up against Lust, which is also fighting for top 2 spots in their group. Lots can still happen here. You can see Wise potentially getting 4 battle wins in consecutive. But now we're seeing EVG try to get both A and C at the same time by Rat Tank. Great job, reset again. Milkshake's going to run away. But Wise got D first. They are getting the cap lead again this time. But Milkshake has taken a big hit while trying to get A. UA takes a hit here as well. And we are seeing Wise and Wise. I think they're controlling the situation for the first time this evening, potentially. But I mean, they have cap lead in the first and the third battle. It's just them losing quite a lot of hit points in those 2 occasions. But EVG this time is the team losing a lot of hit points. Oh my lord! Where did that come from? Wise suddenly made a push onto C, and they caught forced off guard. EVG now, they're in deep trouble. They now have to regroup here. Wise, they're looking strong now. UA waiting for his second shell to reload, maybe the first shell, but EVG is in deep trouble. They really need to find a way to punch through Wise. It's a 5 versus 7 now. The hit points are not in the favor of EVG. The numbers are also not in favor of EVG as well. And Milkshake, I certainly didn't take notice of a boost happening around somewhere, but that's certainly an interesting location. Sorry for not capturing that boost here, but Type and Spartan Sword are both taken out Wise, looking a lot better this time. they look a lot more decisive and more focused. And props to Wise. This is a great game from them. And EVG didn't look really good this time. They panicked again. What can they do? I don't know. So, I mean, look at this. That Team Reality of Milching did something, but not a lot actually. But Wise, this is a great call. They got a lot more. They got a lot bolder. They immediately push on to say without any regrets. I mean, this is going to be a 50-50 situation. Like, it's going to either work or not work. And I mean, there is a lot of uncertainty regarding that push. To be honest, I mean, they don't even know where most of EVG tanks are. But they timed it really well. They figured out Forced is a nice little tank. Took that tank out immediately. Forced didn't even have time to react to that push. And I mean, suddenly just EVG collapsed. I mean, Wise also pushing from multiple angles. They held their hit points really well. Really not much EVG could do. I would have panicked in that situation, to be honest with you. So we're now on to Dynasty's Pearl here. Wise might be mounting an unlikely comeback here. They have now won one battle. They still need to win 3 more compared to EVG's only need 1 more. And they are going to win this important round. And I think this will essentially seal EVG's position in the next stage if they manage to win Wise. But nothing is set in stone yet. And if Wise manages to win these the 2 rounds tonight, I would say they are definitely going to be in the next round. Let's go back to Dynasty's Pro. What are we going to be seeing here? It's a totally different map than Normandy. Normandy is really open, but Dynasty's Pro very well covered. So you can see the change of tanks here. The change, the use of tanks. EVG going for double VK72. The first time we're seeing tonight. Known for is armor, but I would say E100 even more armor potentially. I don't know, but VK has those special consumables, so that's why you would be taking a VK. But look at this. B has already spotted a lot of tanks going into the park side from EVG, but EVG, the Strift K, they have a totally different idea here. They're trying to spawn bait. They're trying to spawn bait Wise. I think they know that Wise is going to do another aggressive battle, knowing why they lost in the previous battle. But at the same time, Wise is also doing the same thing. They're also spawn baiting. So at least some of them have to get out of their spawn baiting positions. And B is trying to get C here. So it seems that Wise is going to get out of their spawn baiting positions because they have the cap lead. Sorry, it should be EVG getting out of their spawn baiting positions because Wise has a cap lead, EVG does not. So EVG has to rotate and push. But Wise again, they are running into this into a similar mistake as the first 3 battles, which is losing hit points unnecessarily. Spartan Sword ready to let another big shot into trash, and you don't want to be thrown into trash like that. And the Spartan Sword lighting up for that shot. Trash has to be really careful now. Spartan Sword. Oh, a heel shot onto Trash. Oh my lord, Trash is going to be taken out very soon. Gotsu. In this position, Trash in deep trouble now, down to 1 shot. Hit points are in huge favor of EVG right now. And they're going to flip the cap points. Maybe not. Why still has the hit point, the cap point advantage? Because the gap originally was more than 80 cap points, so EVG still has to kill another tank, but they've taken out an important tank here. Wise, under a numerical disadvantage, B in that 200 LT running around now. Wise, they can still hold, but EVG is going to get beat at the same time, which means EVG will have the cap lead back if they manage to get beat. So EVG with a lot of I don't think B. I don't think he wants to run into a situation like that. Look at this. Oh no, B. Good night, B. I feel very sorry for B, but Wise is going to make an immediate move onto Legolera, but there's so many hit points from Legolera, and Wise not penetrating their shells. EVG, they've spotted a crown also isolated. Legolera is going to go down, but is it going to be enough? Well, they still have to kill more tanks here. It's a 6 versus 4 situation. Wise, with not a lot of hit points now, they are in a dire situation. Needless to say, Wise, they are unable to find a tank of EVG isolated. Wise, similar problem as the first 3 battles, they've allowed themselves to be isolated, and EVG, they just have to find the target to focus easily. Not something that is a difficult job for EVG. Big shots onto UA, a big AC shell to the backside. Now UA's dead. It's a 6 versus 2. Not much you can do here. Wise is going to lose this one 1-4. And a lot of pressure. Really, a lot of pressure in the next few ones. Well done to EVG. Now it's 4-1 for EVG. And they are in a really good position here. They are potentially getting a win. Well, getting the qualification. I mean, now we're going to be seeing results from other groups and also the group we're following tonight. EVG, 3 tanks to more than 2k, and Wise, 2 tanks to more than 2k. And it's a best of 7. Once again, I have to reiterate, best of 7. And well, what a start. So EVG now 4-1 Rats, then DT. Do we have results? Let's find out now. Alright, so we do have results. Oh, Boone has won 4-1 against our Sock. EOS still playing against Lus, and Red still playing against TT. And then we have Group 2. Nomad 4-0 against 7simp, which is an extraordinary victory for Nomad. As for Sasso, 4-0 against UQ. And a win they really need. GB, on the other hand, beat Risk 4-1. Meanwhile, we have AZ losing to EA 4-1. So we have results for Group 2 already. As for Group 1, we're waiting for 2 more games to go. So I think you can see here. Now Group 1, EVG is now leading with 5 round wins, and EOS still playing against Last. That is being streamed by Suyang Kun at the moment. On the other hand, we have GV and Risk leading, getting the top 2 spots. GV is all but secured when it comes to qualifying to the next stage. Let me see, who else do they have to face? They only have to face 7simp and Nomad now. GB won against EA a couple of games ago. So that means that GB is our first qualifier for the final stage. So well done to GB, and I think they could sit back and take a deep breath. They didn't qualify to the top 4 last season, and they desperately need a result like that. So well done there. I feel really hungry. But I don't have any snacks here. So bear with me on this one. Hi NatForce, how are you doing? Hi Exploding Guy. Great to see you here. But I'm definitely going to starve. I'll make sure to buy some snacks before today, before I die of hunger. Because I do have to remind myself to buy other stuff too. But yeah, I'll think of groceries later. But let's look at but let's take a break for now. Going to register the results that we that see so far. That has concluded here. Alrighty. I think with so many people watching so far, I'm only 50 people watching. Thank you very much. I apologize for my lack of fluency tonight. I am very hungry now. I don't have a snack with me. But I think you want to see Mapbox, right? So Mapbox has made the following predictions. Just going to switch to this. Come on, and hopefully it's showing the right. Yes, so Mapbox has made the following predictions. EVG didn't win against Wise; it was Wise winning instead. Well, EVG won against Wise; it wasn't Wise winning. So this is a wrong prediction. Rats are still playing against DT. Lost are still playing against EOS, so definitely not a 4-0 victory there. Boone definitely won against our Sock, and that's a right outcome prediction. Nomad did win against 7sim, but it wasn't that close. Zartsev. Although some people would just say it's completely rubbish when they saw two predictions failing, but it is what it is. Clan Wars is a totally unpredictable scene. But you could also see that power rating. Power rating is a system that I have been working on, and this new system has been in use since the summer season last year, and it's working really well this season, especially when there are a lot more games in, well, amongst the teams in the 9th to 16th place, and the end results that the entire top 16 is predicted by a power rating. Not really predicted, but exactly what the power rate, exactly what the top 16 here is. So all the top 16 clans in the power rating are exactly the top 16 teams we are seeing here tonight on the Apex server. So well done to that. Previously it wasn't that accurate. There is at least 1 or 2 clans that are in the top 16, but not in the top 16 per se. But this season is not the case. It's really good assortment of top 16 clans. So be even better for EU server. We only had 2 clans that are not in the top 16, despite being picked as a top 16 clan according to power rating, and one of them dissolved before the last qualifier. So again, yeah, I have to say, well done to Tolian. A really good formats for the qualifiers. There is still a lot of room for improvement, to be honest with you, but I really like how the qualifying stage has focused more onto the battles between clans of similar quality, especially for clans below top 8. So, I mean, currently, the top 4 might be the top 4 in the end. Risk, Wise, EVG, and GB. Everyone will be wondering, where is Team ID? They are not playing this season. They still have the entire clan. Most of the players are still in ID. Spartan Swords is an exception playing for EVG this season. But I would not rule out a return of ID in the future. We could see them back in the spring season. We really want to see them back. They are such a great team. I really love them back. But so once again, for those of you who just joined, if you have no idea who Wise, EVG 7, Wise or EVG are, Wise basically RN. EVG is basically P1 or E7. So, and Zarso is basically GRS, but as you can see, I think it's a much weakened version of GRS for Zarso. Wise maybe a slightly weakened version of RN, but EA is a clan that you've come across before. But this is a team that is comprised of most of the players from Riri from last season. 7 Simp is Brown from last season, but losing their Russian recruits or lowlies to Nomad, and this is why Nomad won against 7 Simp 4. They were really huge victory right there. Last. For those of you who don't know who Last is, they are a clan who competed in the summer season last year, but not the autumn season. They're back, and they're looking really strong at the moment. I think the next round we are seeing Last versus Wise is going to be a lot of entertainment value, which means I'm going to starve a little bit more, but I don't care. Hope the enthusiasm is still there. AZ, you know, placed second in the Challengers tournament last season. They're going to have a breakout year. I would say don't underestimate them. They could potentially break into top 8. but they were drawn into a terrible group. It was very competitive for them, so I would not be surprised that they are not going to get much out of it. Rats, from the autumn season as well. They are here for some time. Boone, a legendary clan, revived, but this is a team with players mostly from King and also P2. So, but they surprised us in the qualifiers. They are in fact the first batch of clans that qualified to the stage. And we have DT, you know who they are, but they did have a little bit of a disappointing season here. They only qualified through the wildcard to the for the last chance tournament, and our sock. I think they had some really good days and some bad days, but they're improving. They were the winners of the lower echelon championship last season. Fun to watch as well. EOS, I think, it's kind of an uncertainty here. They haven't played a lot of the clans near the level because of their win rate. Most likely they will have relatively easy teams for them to play in the qualifiers, but this is going to be a challenge for them. But they are doing well so far, so it's good. They are going to rise further up the power rating after the round robin stage, and UQ qualified in the second last chance tournament despite being disqualified in the first one because of fielding an ineligible player. So UQ's back. We were all expecting DES to be here, but they lost to PZTH in the second last chance tournament, so they aren't here. There are also clans leave disqualified in the last chance tournament, but I will also bring your attention to GLXT and UX. They are new clans this season. I haven't heard of them. I don't think I've come across those players too, so it's going to be interesting. Exciting stuff. Will they break into top 16 and will they be able to bring us some surprises this year? I would really love to see that. So hopefully these two clans are going to show us some really good stuff. There's also SAG, which participated in the first qualifier but didn't appear in the next few ones. Hope they will still be here in the next few seasons. They are basically GB rejects, I think, from what I'm seeing from the team composition. So it might be a bit too strong of a language to say they're GB rejects, but most of them played in GB before, so yeah. I don't know under why really suddenly EA. It also doesn't make sense to me. And Rory did say about a comeback this year. Didn't materialize for this season. Maybe later on. We don't know. So hopefully, you know what's going on here. And actually, you know what? We haven't touched onto this topic. Timeline. So this is the third day of the round robin stage, and tomorrow's the last day. Only one game, so only one round. So at least I won't be starving after this after the stream, and we will take a break, and we'll be back for the final stage, 15th to the 17th of March. I will also be streaming the EU server tonight and tomorrow, but not the final stage because there are only 4 teams in the final stage, and I will give the chances to others who have been streaming a lot in the previous days. I personally don't have a lot of free time lately, so I ain't doing that much. So final stage is reserved for the APAC server, so most likely you will see me back on the APAC server, bringing you exciting stuff. And Tolian provided this amazing schedule, so you know what to expect. And also dates for quick tournaments, and if you want some quick coins, then keep an eye on these tournaments. Exciting stuff. I don't think Riri got poached by EA. In fact, I think a lot of the Riri players from last season were from EA previously, so it's not like they were being poached at the moment. So, yeah, we're going to wait a little bit. I'm just going to switch to the lounge again, and we're going to be seeing results for the other two games, which will be Rat versus DT, which Rat won 4-2 here. And finally, EOS lost to last 3-4. Very close one for EOS, commiserations, but it is what it is. So there we go. Let's look at the table now. Last, they won an important round against EOS. They now share the first position with EPG with 5 round wins, but things could change. Last versus Wise is what's coming up next, and we're following that exactly. So we will capture all exciting moments here. Wise definitely need to win this one, because if they don't, we can safely say that Last is and EVG are both through, and Group 1 we don't have a lot to follow, to be honest with you. It all depends on tomorrow whether we're going to be seeing stuff tomorrow. Seeing any competition at all tomorrow. Kafafo asked whether there are a lot of paid or sponsored clans. As far as I know, no. I don't think there are any clans being sponsored here. So yeah. So I'm going to keep the screen here. I'm going to ask Matbox on the predictions for the next few matches. Oh my god. So bear with me for a moment. Okay. So now I have this line. Okay, so Mabox has made the following predictions. Um, let's see. Okay, so Mabox is going to predict EVG to win DT 4-0, Wise to win last 4-0. That is going to be a bit of a shame if it does happen like that. We don't want a scoreline that big. Rats 4-2 against Arsok, ELS 3-4 against Boone. Group 2 we have Nomad 4-0 against UKill. 7 Sip losing to GV04. Lots of 4-0 predictions here. Zarso 3-4 against EA and Risk 4-0 against SZ. I must say this is some really bold predictions from Madbox. Madbox have no aminosity. I'm not sure if it's the right word. Have no generosity whatsoever, and I mean they're just being mean to a lot of these clients here. But it is what it is. It's being run by a mathematical formula. So we have to stick with this. Yeah. So make sure you head over to the Cloud Wars Asia server. I think the registration period is over, but you might be able to get yourself chances to predict still. You just have to ask the mods for that, and make your predictions on who will win the following rounds. So those of you who are asking what matches are going to happen next, I'm going to post it now. So I will be following Last, Wise versus Last. I'm going to sync it with the stream. EVG versus DT, Wise versus Last, Rats versus RSOC, ELS versus Boone. The other group we have Nomad versus UQ, 7 Simp versus GV, Sarso versus EA, and Risk versus SZ. Right, so I'm just going to double check when the next round is. I don't want to miss the room, because the room could be up soon. Yeah, I'm going to be ready. Now, the room should be up at any moment. Really want to say hello to everyone here so far. Kane, I mean, I've said hello to Cover Foes. I'm not sure if I said hello to Exploding Guy. Hello to Frozen. Hello to Ethan, and hello to Rina Sawayama. And hello to Kawaii and Unknown Watcher and Ploriatica and Jericho. Where's the face cam? I didn't bother to activate my lamp. And Winterfox, hello there. Wayne Eagle, hello there. Room is up. I definitely said hello to Natforce. Remind me if I didn't. Wise versus Last. We're going to begin with Middleburg. Maddox? I didn't say Maddox. I always say Maddox. I'm not sure if Backdogs is still in Rory. I might be wrong, but last time I checked, he's with Roy, but I think it might not be the case now. The double checking stuff. For now, yeah, everything looks right. We're going in. Wise versus Last. We have Wise. I don't know if it's going to be the right call here, but they're going to change their lineup soon because this will be a bit weird. But we will see later. So the maps are Middelburg, Oasis Palms, Canal, and Hellas. As you're seeing in the lounge. Hellas is back. Not sure about Ghost Factory though. But Hellas is definitely a map that a lot of people don't like. For sure. So I think it has been voted back. But yeah, Middelburg. I'm going to look at the lineup now because you will be surprised at what they are taking here. Yeah, this is a lineup of Wise. Queen 2 for their stars. I believe this is not their final lineup. With the U100 and IS4 last is ready. Double Striff K. A Kranwagen and IS4, well, double IS4 and double 60 TP. And yeah, look, this is going to be an important matchup for both teams. If either one of them win, I would say they are through to the next. If either one of them win, they are through to the next round. Well, actually, maybe not. So it all boils down to the final round. To be honest with you, because we could potentially see a three-way tie, and things could get really messy there. But for the second group, Risk just needs to win their game, and if EA or Nomad don't win their games, I think the last round we don't really need to say the results of the last round. Hi Sting, how are you doing? Yes, I am live. I am live, or I am not. So, do we have much to say? Let's look at the lineup here now. Wise are not going to be taking Queen 2 for their stars. UA99 Mischief K, alongside Uncrowned. We have one IS4 by Trash, Arrow and SDC, double I7, I am Brett Tank 215B, Beal in the T100 LT. Last, on the other hand, double 60 TV by My Lord and Fancy, My Lord RNG, Elitist in the IS4 alongside My Blood, Steve Valentine, Kranwagen by Temptation, Nephrin and Obaya, double Striff K, Bitterberg. Let's see. Why is Group 1 more exciting than Group 2? The same question. I thought Group 2 is going to be a lot more exciting, but we're seeing GB punching their weight above their weight, and suddenly, I mean, Riz is obviously a huge favorite for this season. So, I mean, at least obviously they won last season. So suddenly, just Group 2 became a lot less exciting. But Group 1, things can still happen. Wise versus Last, such an important round. You don't want to miss any action here. Of course you don't want to miss any action. But, yeah. So let's look at this. Oh, this is beautiful. And, with fancy graphics here as well. I think this is the first time I saw Middleburg with fancy graphics. But will it save Middleburg from being one of the most hated maps in Clan Wars? I think I'm making this up. I don't have any real statistics showing people hate Middleburg, but we are now seeing fancy 60p. Oh, I love the shadows here. Tank spotted. Fancy. Unable to get a gun down. Uncrowned. Not getting shot at. May not be the best time for this position, I'm afraid. But the high alpha is going to do a lot of damage. Obviously. The Capos are with Last at the moment. They got A more quickly than Weiss got B. And the attention's on C. If Trash is able to get C, then Last will be in a little bit of trouble. But UA 99, that's Drift K. Knocking down one tree. Knocking down next potentially. I don't know. But this is going to be tense stuff. We might be seeing Last regrouping potentially, but Trash in that ice fall trying to cap A, C. Seems to be successful at the moment, but Fancy lands. No, I don't think that's a reset shell. Reset shots. It didn't reset Wise. Capturing C. Trash got C for Wise, and this is going to mount some huge pressure onto Last here. They have to flank. No, they don't have to flank. They will either have to rush C or get B, or try to get C while trying to push. And this is what my Lord RNG is trying to do. Trash is trying to pull back. My Lord RNG is still reloading at the moment, but Brett tying great shots to My Lord RNG. Can Last get C back? We will see. Oh, great move by Arrow, trying to get to the backside. Wise is trying to encircle Last, but is this going to be a good move here? Last is trying to break down Wise, but now Wise has pincered Last. Last, they need to get the tanks out really quickly. Otherwise, Wise, they're going to get the tanks out left, right, and center. Elite is now being killed. UA is a focus for Last. Always a bounce from UA onto Lefren. My Blood Valentine's the focus here. My Lord RNG instead. Uncrowned is now very, very low. And it will be killed by Uncrowned. UA still surviving. And he still has to survive. It's now 5 for 5 right now. Hit points are in favor of Wise here. Cap points are in favor of Wise. Last unable to get the C cap. And this is going to come back and haunt them hard. I have Brett like dropping the reactive bomb and Nephron turning the attention onto another tank, but maybe he could only push shots onto Iron Brett tank. Great HE shell from Iron Brett tank to Nephron, but Nephron bounces again. Iron Brett tank great shell onto Nephron, and Iron Brett tank still surviving. That reactive bomb is doing all favors for Iron Brett tank. And look at this great job from Wise, penciling Last. Last can't do much here. They aren't getting tanks quickly enough. And their apparent ignorance on C cost them the game dearly. Just mount more and more pressure onto Last. And Wise making use of that pincer movement to shut Last down swiftly. It is a really close brawl, to be honest with you, but had Last focused their shots better and attempted to get C, I would say things could pan out a lot differently, and Wise could be forced to work really hard there. As it stands, Wise had a relatively comfortable start here, winning Last 1-0 so far. So far, so good for Wise here. Not that good for Last. we'll see what's going to happen in the next one. So wise we're going to be seeing all amounts driven by UA99 Beetle and Iron Bread Tank, double Strip K, double IS7 by Arrow and uncrowned with Trash in the IS4 STC 60TP. Last on the other hand, we're going to be seeing triple 60TP, double IS4 by not double IS4, elitist IS7, my bloody Valentine IS4. Crown Vago by Temptation and Nobaya in the Strip K. We are going back on Middelburg. Will Wise pick up another important battle win here? They started really well this time. And unlike the matches against EVG, I do think they're still losing, they're still bleeding, but last bleeds even more here. So to trade that off, Wise has the advantage and great push actually, or maybe not a great push because they were forced to defend. Last war was the one to push, and they did a good pincer movement. And Wise, they have to keep that up. This is good stuff. Wise now, they're going to put their tanks onto the hill. Last going to do similar things. Wow, what a blind fire onto elitist. Where did that come from? Trash. Might not know about this, but Elise is now sorted, so they know that they've done a blind shot well. Uncrowned in the I7. Now hold down here. Will Uncrowned be able to push up shells onto last? A will be captured by Weiss. An A. The capture on A will give Weiss the cap lead. Last not getting B at all. They aren't even trying to get C at even. So what are they going to do? Are they going to push outright like at the start of the game? Fancy still holding there. Last, I am not sure what they're trying to do. Because they don't have the cap lead, they're trying to get in position to chip away hit points of Wise. They don't have to do that immediately though. They can chip away bit by bit of Wise, but will Wise allow Last to bleed them? I don't think that will be the case. Last is now pushing the lineup, but look at the shots onto Temptation by Wise. Great job here, but I think Last is now pushing in. They're trying to get Uncrowned out of the way. Wise, on the other hand, UA is going to be really slow. So Last, they're going to make use of this, of this one. Uncrowned down to one shot. Last, they need to get Uncrowned out of the way. It's going to be the case. Wise are struggling to keep up with this push. Last is in an advantage here with the hit point pool lead and also the numbers. Wise has to start killing tanks out here now. If they can't, Wise is going to be in a deeper trouble. My Lord RNG is killed by Arrow, but My Bloody Valentine is being isolated. Temptation is being killed. Huge kill there. So now a 6 versus 5. Trash is focused for Last potentially, but they're ignoring them for now. Last is getting a bit confused here of which tanks they're going to go for, and I think this is going to be advantage to Wise now. They have a better focus fire, and with Iron Bread Tank being taken out, UA has now moved upwards, and now not being useless down in the city side. They don't want to get B because Last was rushing, so it was a good move by UA to ignore it completely in capturing B. Great ram onto the Nephrin. It is now advantage towards Wise. Last struggling immensely with Wise's counter push, and Wise with much better focus fire, much better coordination with the tanks they want to go for good tank priority setup. Nothing could be done by Last. They really need their focus fire. They are they are discombobulated with the tanks they want to go for. They had a good start, but they trailed after that. So again, really good job from Y. 6 tanks do more than 2k. They are a seasoned clan. They definitely know what to do when people push them, and you really have to be at your 100% if you want to push them. And if you don't, then as we saw in the last 2 battles, they can absolutely make a comeback with good focus fire and discipline. And this is what Lost is lacking at the moment. They really need their focus fire and their target priority. Their hit list is a bit all over the place at the moment now. 2-0 for Wise, and it's looking pretty likely that they're going to take this. Hello everyone. So far, hello Marisa. How are you doing? Oasis Palms, we're going to be seeing some changes. It's an even more open map. Things could become really different. And last, we're going to be seeing double IS7, double IS4, double 3FK, and M6Yo, Wise, triple 60TP, double IS7, 1T100LT, and in FB, 2.5B. So, Oasis Palms. Let's go. Let's head up high and see where both teams are going. Tayaba leading the entire team over to A with Lust. They're going to a different location. Most of the tanks are going for C. So B is going to spotted up 5 tanks already. Himself is spotted. So Wise knows what Last is doing, but Wise, they don't have a light tank. And I don't like that Lost doesn't have a light tank here. It's such an open map. You really need that information here. Wise is going to go straight into A, trying to cap that out. But with Lost getting C more quickly, I think this is going to be a bit difficult, or maybe not. Great job to UA for getting the reset shell. But Lost still has the lead on C with the caps. So Wise is the clan that needs to make a rotation. Lost just needs to sit back. But without light tank to gather information, this is going to be a tall order for them. And it's also a difficult one for Wise to rotate. They have to rotate out in the open. And they really need to be at their 100%. They really need to be decisive with their calls. But Last is also dropping some points, so is Wise. So Wise, they have to bleed Last to make that push a lot more comfortable. But as we can see, Wise, they're holding off. Not much they need to do at the moment. They just need to figure out where most of the tanks of Last is. Beal is going to be really important in facilitating this job and getting the information in general. Last just needs to stay safe and not drop hit points, and they're doing it well at the moment. Beal might be spotting Elites, but Last, are they making that push onto Wise's spawn? Oh, Beal is being spotted. Some shots coming in the way of Bill, but it didn't hit. But my lord RNG gets shot at by 2 tanks. So Wise is doing a little bit better with the hit point push battle. Elite is dropping some hit points Last. They're now giving away hit points unnecessarily, and this could come back and bite them hard. Wise, not as careless as them battles against EVG. So it's great. It's a good start for Wise. They're gradually gaining the hit point pool advantage, and they're trying to go into B. Is Last ready for this? Last, they're turning their attention on both flanks. Oh! I think we are seeing a good push from Last here. Nephron coming to get Arrow here. Arrow's is in deep trouble. Facing 4 tanks, nothing much Arrow could do. Wise need to make a push on the other side, and they're doing that exactly on My Bloody Valentine. Unground is going to be killed by. It's going to kill My Bloody Valentine. Arrow is now dead. It's now a 6 versus 6. The hit points are still very, very close, but Wise got B at the same time, and this is going to put more pressure onto Last instead. Nephron's going to go into B, but Wise will have tanks to stop B from being captured. Look at how Shibuya and Tayama turn the attention onto Nephron. Nephron is now the focus for Wise. The hit points are still in favor of Wise by a lot, actually. And Shibuya is going to put a big shot onto Nephron. Nephron still hanging on, but now dead. Last trying to get B, but unsuccessful. My Lord RNG is dead, and Wise is going to take out Obaya as well. They're going to ignore C entirely. They only need 1 more kill, and they don't need to lose any tanks, or they don't even need a kill, actually. They just need to survive. And they got the important win against Last, bringing this to a 3-0 now. Well done to Wise. And commiserations to Last here. 3-0. And pressure is mounting on to Last. They have to win something if they want to keep their chances in the top 2 afloat. Wise leading 3-0 now. It all depends on the final round, I have to say, because on the final round, EVG will play against Last. And if Last loses against EVG and everything is over. Wise looking very confident now. 3 battle wins on their belt. They just only need 1 more, and they should be alright. They should be alright. Unless Last wins against EVG, then everything will boil down to the battle wins. So there's no chance for Last to qualify if they lose against Wise, provided that they win against EVG. And if EVG, I mean, EVG should be able to win against DT with not a lot of question. So 3-0 now. Can they do it? Can Last mount a big comeback? Looking very unlikely. I think Wise is simply better than Last in lots of aspects. Ah! Oh no! Is Wise playing only with 6? Oh no! What have you done, Wise? Oh my lord, someone has not ready up in time! Oh my Wise, what have you done? Oh, look at the hit point pool difference here. Wise, I hope this is not going to shake their confidence. But this is not good. They are taking double Forge, an IS-4, an IS-7, a Strip K, and a T100 LT. Last, a 60 TP double IS-4, a Crown Varg, a Bounce, and double Strip K. So we're seeing Trash going to go really aggressively into this position. Spotted up 4 tanks, I would say, crossing. And Trash is going to land a missing shot. But Arrow is going to capture B very quickly. Look at the crossbound leaders. Last, are they just going for big push here? Are they just going to push without any hesitation at all? UA, great shot. Tayama gets elitist out, but I would have reserved that shot, but maybe not because Tayama is going to go down soon. Tayama is now dead. Now focus fires onto Nephrin. Hit points are still in huge favor of Last here. Simply, it's going to be very difficult to win here. For Wise, they don't have the hit points, but Nephrin gets taken out very quickly. Now, UA needs to put a shot here. Still one more shot in the clip. Oh my god! It's an ammo rack onto my bloody Valentine. That shot really put into good use, but it's 4 versus 4 hit points still in favor of Last. I don't think Wise is going to win this one despite that ammo rack. That was a lucky ammo rack. Obaya is now down, but Wise has done everything they could to win this one. But Last, that push just came in very quickly at the start. What can you do here? I don't think you could do much. Trash is going to be taken out by my Lord RNG. The focus fire of Wise is so on point. Last just only won because they have one more tank alive, and they didn't have bad focus fire per se, and they just made use of their inherent advantage. Now Arrow might be forced to play with the mouse here. And this is a 1 versus 1 situation. Fancy is turning the other way. Arrow is going to be the path of focus fire. Now Fancy has to work well with my Lord RNG because Arrow will be making use of the mouse to side scrape and shield. A great shot onto my Lord RNG by Arrow. Now B. Oh dear. Wise. It's all great bounce here. Arrow down to potentially a one shot. Fancy gets Arrow out of the way. I don't think Wise is going to deal with. It's going to win this one. They've done a really good job with focus fire. That arrow rack might have made all the difference, but it is not going to be the case. B is going to just run away. Might be trying to get C. Out say he's trying to get C. Yeah, he's trying to get C. Fancy and my Lord RNG. Last is trying to get both A and B. I don't think there's much B can do here. It's pretty much game over. So B, they got C. They still have the cap points. If B is able to kill my Lord RNG, oh, I do think that is going to be huge. B is still not spotted. He doesn't want to be shot at, but Bansi is going to the same direction as B is. So, B needs to land a shot onto my Lord. It will be the case. Well done there. But Fancy. Oh no! Ah! B has been shut down by Fancy. Last gets one back, and it's such a nerve-wracking. I mean, this commentary is a bit awkward, but what a game! Last really made sure they have the tank advantage, and Wise just, I mean, pretty good focus fire, but not much to do when they only play with 6. Simply, you can't do much here when you're getting pushed by 7 tanks against 6. They've done everything they could to bring it close. It was really close in the end, but sadly, it's all to do with with that one tank they are missing. I don't know if Wise is throwing, but obviously, I don't know what they're doing there. But Wise 3-1. They're still on a high here, but that loss is going to hit them hard. But they are very experienced. They know what to do when they're in the disadvantageous situation, so I am very sure they can make a comeback here. But they still only need to win one more, and Last has to win 3 more. So it's not like Wise is under a lot of pressure. They made sure they're going to be ready with 7 this time. Last will not get away with this time. They have to be at their 100%. We are now on the canal, a totally different map. It's more on the cap, playing with the caps, and it's more about the rotation. Both clans would have trained a lot on this map. This is a good map to train your rotations, especially when you're under a capped advantage on both sides actually. So there's absolutely no excuse whatsoever that they don't know how to rotate. They should have practiced practice on this map all the time. They know what to do for sure. So we are in for some amazing rotations here. Let's go up high. Wise, red team going for B and A. Last also going for A and C. So we're going to be seeing a huge fight happening around the northwestern corner. Trash and Arrow spotted. Both IS7s going down. Obaya puts a good shot onto Arrow, but Wise will get B. And this is going to be important. Nefron going to hold down there. A will be captured as well. Seems that Wise is doing a good job with the caps, but Last might be able to trap Shibuya and Tayama. But Wise has another idea. They're trying to trap My Bloody Valentine and Letus instead. So Last are turning their attention away here. They're trying to get Tayama off the fight. But My Bloody Valentine receives a fire. But Tayama is the first tank down. It's a 6 versus 7. And it's very brawly. Everything has descended into pandemonium. Shibuya's going to be taken out soon, but My Bloody Valentine is finally dead. The hit points are still in history for Last at the moment. Last with a lot more hit points compared to Wise. This is surely going to be Last game, to be honest with you. Shibuya's now dead. Some bounces happening from Wise onto Last. This time, a lot more decisive with the shots. Beal down to a 1 shot now. The TVP is not going to do much here. Last is definitely going to get another one here. Great job to Last. UA and Beal both dead. Trash and Arrow looking for a Obaya now. Last doing an amazing job here. Great push. Wise weren't able to respond that quickly, and they were slow in killing the tanks. Last with a lot more focus in this one. I think this is the first match where I think they definitely deserve to win. Well done to Last. And they're bringing it to a 3-2 now. Oops. Ethan. What is rusty here? Oh yeah, my commentary is rusty. Yeah, but also because I am also very hungry, so my energy is depleted. I definitely need something to eat after this. So my stream is going to end very quickly. So Wise 3-2 against Last. Now they're feeling the momentum. They're feeling the heat. Are they going to make use of this? Mess up for Wise to bring it to a tiebreaker now. Canal, Wise, they are now under pressure. Last only needs 2 more, and if Last wins another one, it's a tiebreaker. And Wise doesn't want to throw this advantage away after leading 3-0 with 3 amazing matches. I mean, they were all dominant performance by Wise, but Last is now getting into the game. They are showing what they are capable of. They're showing why they should be in the top 4, but Last needs to maintain that performance, and Wise show up their mistakes and be decisive that pushes out, decisive that moves, and focus fire. They do not want to lose their concentration now, because if they lose to last, they're surely out of top 2 contention, even if everything is tied on the very last day. Or maybe not straight out of contention, they have to rely on either last or EVG. No, actually no. They have to, well, no. Wise is surely out if they lose against last year, no matter what, because EVG and last, either one of them will win. And we know Wise lost against both last. If they lose against last, then they would be down by a tiebreaker, by a tiebreak rule. They also lost to EVG, so Wise pressure is on them. They must win. If they don't win, then they are in deep trouble. B is going to be going into D. Or not. Yep, we'll be going to D. Spotted up both Elitist and My Bloody Valentine. Last again going very aggressive at the start. But the cap advantage is going with last because they got B at the start. Trash is unable to get C because look at where Elitist and My Bloody Valentine are. They are very aggressive and now they drop down. So there's a chance for Trash to cap. But this is going to come with a risk. Wise. It's on them to rotate. They are no stranger to rotation. They can absolutely do a lot of great rotations from the south side. So B is there to spot up tanks. My Bloody Valentine is spotted rotating. So Wise, they really need a good solid push. And they need to time it well. They need to coordinate it well. So last just needs to preserve the hit points and react quickly when Wise pushes. It's textbook situation on Canal. Wise will need to make use of their experience and be spotted up My Bloody Valentine, not shooting anything. He doesn't want to expose the position here, but maybe he will shoot onto Elitist. He's spotted. Last knows where the T100 LT is. Tayama is there, potentially, to put more shots in. We'll follow Tayama here. Trash is spotted up there, using the rock as a shield, but he couldn't put a shot onto Elitist. My Lord RNG is ready to put a shot onto Trash, but it misses. We're going to be seeing Arrow in the I7. Takes a shot from Temptation. And Wise is gradually building pressure onto Lost, but Lost is still holding up well. They chipped away hit points off some tanks here. So the hit points are still quite close. But Lost has one more cap. And Trash is going to get C. Not the most important thing to do, but at least will stop the gap from widening. It will not narrow the gap, however, because both clans will get 2 caps. They will have the same rate of increase in terms of caps. But let's look at Wise. Wise is trying to get B at the start. It's not what I would do here. You want to get a push first. But last, are they ready to get Shibuya out of the way? I think this is exactly what they're doing. The hit points are now in huge favor. Now, last got the tank down. I think Wise has made a mistake in the push. Tayama is now isolated. My Bloody Valentine is now dead. Wise is now calling for a focus fire. I don't know which one they're going to focus because now Yu is getting absolutely smacked. Wise is going to go down next. And Last is doing really well in the defense at the moment. Elitist is going somewhere else. UA is now dead. Elitist is now very, very low. It's a 5 versus 6. Wise is in deep trouble. Last is going to get C as well. Last is going to mount a lot of pressure with the caps. And if this continues, Last is going to bring this to a tiebreaker. B is now killed. And all Last needs to do is get another kill out of the way. And Last lost another tank of Nephron, but that kill to get ground will surely seal last another win. Bring this to a 3-3. Well done to last, and this is going to be hugely important for both teams here. If last wins this one, they are going to go through to the top 4 stage alongside alongside EVG. Wise, all or nothing now. They don't want to lose this one. 3-3, and a bit disappointed with how their push went in the last one. It's another example on why you should put a tank onto the cap first, because the opponent's attention is all on there. It's the easiest thing to do when you're defending a cap on canal, cap advantage on canal. The cap that is going to be captured the most easily would receive the most attention, and this is why that I always say that you shouldn't go for the cap first. Go for a rotation first, distract the opponent, and go for the cap after that, so that you're able to shut down the opponent more easily. So with that, we are seeing Wise go for triple IS7 and IS4, a 200 LT, a Shrift K, and a 215B. Last going for double 6TP, an IS7, a 200 LT, an IS4, and double Shrift K. So, all or nothing. Last versus Wise. Last feeling a lot of confidence coming here. They've won 3 battles in a row. Wise, I think they're on tilt at the moment. Playing with only 6 of Oasis Palms in the 4th battle has shaken their confidence a little bit. Has shook their confidence a little bit. They really don't want to mess this up now, because if they lose this one, they're out. They're out. Wise, we're going to be seeing Bill, the 200 LT. And Bill is going to get B at the moment. Last is going to send most of the tanks onto C, and we could see a lot of action happening around C here. It's all about which team preserves the hit points the best, and which team loses more hit points from crossfire. 4 tanks sitting here from Wise, 3 tanks. It's Last feeling the heat now. They're going to go straight in. Bale, it's all about focus fire now. Wise, are they ready? Focus on Elite's great track shot. But Tayama and also Trash need to come in as soon as possible. Last is not letting it go. Focus on Fosh. Fosh gets ever racked, but this is not going to be a game changer, because Fosh has already lost a lot of hit points here. Temptation's now in the 200 LT, receives a lot of attention. Breathtaking now down to a one-shot being taken out. Wise with a lot more hit points, but unfortunately, Temptations has run into both Tayama and Trash. Temptation's been taken out. This push from Lars. Didn't seem to work real well, unfortunately. UA now down to one-shot, gets taken out by Obaya. Obaya down to a one-shot now. Wise looking so far so good. 5 versus 4. Wise's focus fire is back in full force. Last unable to pincer Wise at all. Wise, that discipline is what we're talking about. That discipline is top 4 quality. My Lord RNG is now taken out. My Bloody Valentine is the focus for the Wise tanks here. My Bloody Valentine taken out by Arrow, leaving Nephron, the last person standing. Wise is still in contention for the top 4. Last now in deep trouble. They have to win against EBG in the final round, and that's probably what I will be streaming tomorrow. Attention now on to EBG versus Last. There is still a chance for Last. Last must win against EBG to hope that they can bring it to they can qualify on a tie on tie break. Wise, however, won in the last battle convincingly 4-3. No surprises at the end. Wise is still pretty much in contention, and we will see about EVG versus DT. This game goes to Wise. Well done to Wise. Amazing fight. We're going to be seeing EVG 4-1 against DT. Puts them in a good in a good position tomorrow. Now, what will happen tomorrow is if Last wins against EVG, and if Wise obviously has to win against Spoon. If Wise doesn't win against Spoon, then all the stuff I'm talking about next will not matter. Wise, if EVG, Wise, and Last are tied, because Last, if they won against EVG, or will go down to the number of battle wins. Wise, they have to win 25 battle wins, and Last, they will. If they win against EVG, they are surely through. It all depends on how many battles EVG wins. If EVG wins 1, then I'm afraid, it's going to go down to a totally different. If EVG only wins 1, then this tiebreak. It all goes down to the battle duration, and that will be decided by Tulian. We can only know from Tulian's side, but if EVG wins 2, then EVG is through. So EVG at least has to win 2 battles in order to go through. Wise at least has to win their final round against Spoon. That's for Rats versus ARWV. Rats won 4-1 against ARWV. ARWV has yet to win one tonight. EO is still playing against Spoon at the moment. Nomad won 4-1 against UKIL. We also see GB winning 4-0 against 7simp. Sarso 4-0 against EA. Huge victory for Sarso. And Risk 4-0 against SZ. So looking at Group 2, there's really not much to say about this. Risk are through to the top 4 stage, final stage. They won against Nomad previously, so they won against them 4-1. So no matter what happens tomorrow, GB and Risk are both through. Risk, they will play against Sarso tomorrow, but even if Sarso wins against Risk, Sarso will still have lower number of round wins than Risk. So it's the only situation is that Nomad wins and have 5 round wins, but then Risk wins against Nomad. Risk won against Nomad before. So GB and Risk are sealed for the have that final stage spots sealed. It all remains on Group 1 by Wise, EVG, and Last. It all depends on this one, on this here. That's for thanks all for coming tonight. Hope you enjoyed the matches tonight, and apologies. I'm a bit rusty with my commentary, and for sure the games I'm going to commentate in the next few days will get me back to the usual standard. But Boone has made an important win against EOS, which means Boone will have 2 round wins. They are now ahead of EOS, EOS dropping down to the 6th place. So everything, so it's all about tomorrow. EVG, they win 2 rounds, then EVG will go through. And it all depends whether Lost can win tomorrow. And until then, I'll see you later tonight for the EU server. I'll be following rejects. So until then, thanks all for watching. I'll see you soon. Well, let's also say Batbox. Batbox has made Batbox made the following predictions and got EVG versus DT right. Right outcome. Wise against Last, a lot closer than expected. It could have been that scoreline, if not Wise fielding only 6 players in the 4th battle. Rats versus our Sorg did go in favor of Rats. That was a correct prediction. Oh, Boone 4-3 against EOS. That was a totally correct prediction. Group 2, we have Nomad versus Ukill, which did end in favor of Nomad. GB did win against 7-7-4-0. It was the right prediction, but Sarso won against EA 4-0. I didn't expect that at all. Risk 4-0 against AZ, which is exactly what happened. Yeah, exactly what happened. So it's not like I mean, only one incorrect prediction, outcome prediction, and there are lots of correct scoreline predictions tonight too. So far so good. It wasn't like too unpredictable. So yeah, so not much I could say about this. See you all very soon. Bye bye. Oh.